Hello, today I will talk about this car that I wanted to get a long time ago. It's been on the market for a long time and now it's time to buy it because it's getting cheaper, but not everywhere. You should look for better prices on online platforms. So this is a big car. The scale of this car is 1 to 10. And it's a four-wheel drive car, and the model is called Xinlehong 9125. In comparison to other models, it has stronger moving parts like shafts and axles. They're made of metal. It has two electrical motors, and it's huge and it's heavy. This is how the structure of the car looks like. It has two shock absorbers per each rear wheel. It still has brushed electrical motors. It has some metal protection parts, and it has IPX4 rating, which means it was tested against water splashing, and it has this rating, which means it can resist water splashes. But you can't submerge it in underwater or let it drive in deep waters. This X means the dust indicator, meaning that this model was not tested against resistance against particles like dust and debris, so we don't know how it would behave in sand, for example. We don't know if the sand may damage this model, but we will test that in the future. So as I said, it has two electrical motors. In comparison to previous models, it works with LiPo battery, and the previous models would come with iron lithium batteries. Still, the capacity of this battery is not enough. I've already tried this car, and you would have to change the battery to have longer running time. Let's see the real car right now. So this is how the car looks like. According to the instructions, it says the battery can last up to 15 minutes, and I say it's not enough. This time you have really large wheels. Just look at my hand and look at the size of the wheels. Then instead of screws you have nuts to keep the wheels in its place. And you need to use the socket to unscrew the nuts and remove or replace the wheels if necessary. You have body clips to keep the body in place, but when you drive it you may lose these clips and you may need to buy new ones. You have some spare clips in the box when it comes, and anyways you can make your own clips with paper clips, as I've shown in my previous videos. Let's check how it looks inside. You remove the clips like this. The body is a plastic cover. You can paint it and design your own car body. You have a remote control. To turn it on, you push the button, and then you push the button here, which is hidden inside, and you control it with the wheel on the remote control. You have different settings here, high and low speed for throttle, and then you can reverse the way the wheel works. If you switch it in reverse, then turning it right will turn the car to the left. When you have the body cover on, you can still have access to the button via the space in here and turn on and turn off the receiver. The battery is located inside. You just remove the cap by pushing on it, and you have access to the battery, which is pretty small. It's only 1600 milliamperes, which would not last for a long time and will not be enough to enjoy the car. So you have to adapt a larger battery. The challenge here is that this space here is not enough to put a bigger battery, so I'll show you how you can adapt another battery. But before doing that, let me show you what is different in this model in comparison to other models. Here the car body is much more resistant to damage. It has some metal spare parts covering essential parts of the car. You can see I have this part already scratched here, and you can see that there's metal in here. And that's important because when you drive this car you hit different obstacles, and the first part that hits the obstacles is this one, and it also keeps plastic parts in place and different screws. So these parts are protection for this car. The plastic anyways is pretty resistant as well. So as this car weighs a lot, they put two shock absorbers, which are regular ones. There's no oil inside, you just have springs here. And the downside of this is when this metal bar rusts with time, it doesn't let the shock absorber move freely. That's something to keep in mind. You can also buy replacement shock absorbers with oil. I've done some testing with different shock oil absorbers with previous models in my videos. You can check that out. If you find a shock absorber similar to this model, you can adapt easily shock absorbers with oil. So here we also see that the shafts are metal here and the hubs are metal here, so the connections are all metal here, which means it won't wear out easily. In previous models these were plastic ones and the connections would wear out. There was another problem with the connections here where the hub is connected to the arms, and now you see that the hub here is attached with a really huge bolt here, so this thing should last longer. On both sides you have really large metal bolts. Still, this casing of the hub is plastic, the arms are plastic. We'll see how it works, but in general this plastic is also pretty hard to break. Also I see that these connections are plastic here. These parts also hit a lot of obstacles usually when you drive, so this is another weak point that this car may have. Anyways, if something breaks, you have a list of spare parts that comes in the manual, which you can buy. For example, we have this manual here, and they included the parts, the list of the parts which you can buy, with the preferences. And you can also see what this car is made of. So you have two electrical motors, shafts, axles, and its maintenance is pretty easy. You can buy parts and replace them. So what I did to improve the battery life of this car, I just got another battery with high capacity. This one is 4000 milliamperes with 50 discharge rate. Unfortunately, I don't know what the discharge rate of the original battery is, and I noticed that putting this battery in made this car heavier and thus affected a little bit the speed of the car. But I'm not sure if this rating affected the speed as well. Maybe with the higher rating this car would drive faster. So what you need to do is just to buy a high capacity battery with this kind of a plug that would feed your original plug here. In my case the size of the battery was ideal because I could put it this way, so that one end of it leans on this supports here and the other one can enter this space in here. So it kind of keeps in place, exerting some power on the battery, so it already is stable inside. And the only thing I needed to do is to fix this battery in its place with the Velcro straps. So you can use Velcro straps to keep this battery inside just by wrapping it around. Like this. and this battery is not going anywhere even if it moves a little bit. Then I connect the cable. So I have the cable inside and I can turn it on and it works. If I synchronize it with the remote control, it works. And then there is enough space inside of this cover, and I'll just put it on. And put the clips, and the car is ready to go. This way you achieve longer battery life and enjoy the car longer.